They should think it should happen.
So today I'm making a little peaceful tape while we were listening to plans about Syria, and it's a feature of real estate or of a neighborhood that affects the real estate, but it's not actually real estate. It's the C&O Canal, which is a historic canal that goes along the edge of the Potomac River in Georgetown, and it eventually dumps into Rock Creek Park, or rather Rock Creek, which is what Rock Creek Park is along, right before Rock Creek dumps into the Potomac. And it's a beautiful, coolish first day of fall. And the C&O Canal is looking particularly great today because it's got enough water that it's flowing, and the water's kind of clear. It's really the perfect temperature outside, and the sun is just right. So you're about to, if you stay here, experience a 10-minute video of the C&O Canal. We'll see how far we can go in 10 minutes to see it. It of course goes on forever and ever because it was actually a canal that was used to transport through a series of locks here in town. It was used to transport grain and other agricultural products and minerals to mills that were in Georgetown that were powered by the flow of the Potomac. In Georgetown, there are actually a series of condos that were all built back in the 60s and 70s and 80s called paper mill and flour mill. That was actually probably a helicopter, but we are under the flight path that planes are required to use when they landed. Reagan National Airport was supposed to fly over the Potomac because that way they don't fly over people's houses. This structure is where they usually park a ship or a boat. There's a little canal boat that tourists can pay to ride down the canal on when it's higher and more full of water, when they've let the locks be more full of water. It has been decommissioned because it was structurally unsound, and they may or may not build a replacement. And there you see waterfowl. I'm wearing sunglasses. I think they're ducks and not geese. They might even be mallards. There's always a huge amount of migrating waterfowl at different parts of the year, different kinds of birds here in the C&O Canal. The C&O Canal is surrounded by a lot of commercial property, but there are also some condos and even a few very teeny townhouses. In the distance, the giant block of a building is an old abandoned electric utility structure. I don't even think it's office buildings. I think there's actually machinery in there. And it's been closed and abandoned for decades, at least a couple. Our local utility monopoly, Pepco. But it is for sale now. It may have even finally sold off. I assume that some kind of luxury mixed-use commercial and condo will be built there. Here's one of the locks. So when they keep the whole thing full of water, then they can use that little boat that has now been decommissioned. Here's the kind of lever that's used to open up and close the locks. I wonder if I'm not supposed to go behind this chain link fence, although there's no sign saying so. Maybe it's just there to serve as a warning that you might not want to. There seem to be volunteers out today picking up trash. We may see them in the side of your field of vision, picking up trash on the canal. At first I thought they might be people who've been court ordered to do it as community service, but they're all kind of old Georgetown looking people. They're older, they're in their 60s and 70s. They're not wearing orange jumpers. So I think they're actually not doing community service. If they've been wearing orange jumpers, or if more of them have been in their 20s and 30s, I would be more likely to have thought that they were doing some kind of community service. Anyway, we've gone 2 or 3 blocks. We're going to do another 2 or 3 blocks. And then we will hit our 10-minute mark. There's actually one of the boats. But I think I read a poster saying it's no longer in use. It became structurally unsound, or they were worried about it, and it's not actually being deployed anymore. It's very easy for quite small structures around here to cost $1 million. For instance, this teeny house right here on the canal that I think is now some kind of business. A lot of these are businesses. A lot of them are fancy repair people, conservation planners, urban planners, law firms. There's a little sushi store. I'm always tempted to go in here and get sushi, but you can't actually sit down in there. It's to buy takeout to go sit on the canal and eat. And that never appeals to me for some reason. Sushi is takeout that you eat outdoors more than me very often. All these little side streets you're seeing are actually these side streets that come off Wisconsin Avenue and go down to K Street, which is where Washington Harbor is and where the Potomac is in Georgetown, and they're mainly commercial buildings on them, as you can see. It looks and even feels slightly European. It feels kind of like you're in Amsterdam, except that it's sunnier, and the drug of choice is political power and lying and social climbing. Now we're getting to the part where soon we will be crossing out of Georgetown and entering a kind of bike path area that travels along more where the actual riverfront is, with no buildings between this and the riverfront, just the woods. It's kind of a perfect, it's Friday morning, there's nobody. There have been a few runners. I tried to keep them out of the film. But there haven't been a lot of people to interfere. Get in the frame. So that's one reason I'm doing this. I mean to come down here and bike all the time, and I usually don't get around to it. Anyway, you can see it's DC because there's a huge amount of construction going on, and I can assure you that directly or indirectly your tax dollars are at work there. Even if it's just because that's going to be luxury condos that will be sold to lobbyists who get paid 6 and 7 figures to lobby for your tax money to be spent one way or another. In the distance you can see a smokestack. I have a feeling that it's not related to any actual industry, but it is in fact an old mill that's probably now become condos. We're now near where Wisconsin and M Streets are. In fact, I think that is Wisconsin right above us. And we've been between M and K the whole time. We're kind of near Nancy Pelosi's condo on Washington Harbor. It's to the south of us, where the Potomac is. Anyway, this crosses over to the older part of the C&O Canal. And I think we're just going to stop it here and do a second part.